What's up YouTube? Brian here, back again with another video, and today we're going to kick it back old school a little bit with an unboxing video. I haven't done one of these in a while. I haven't been buying a lot of tackle in the last few months, but we are now dead winter here in Minnesota, and I've been going through a lot of my stuff, purging some things, and then Omnia has been doing some awesome sales lately, and I've been stocking up on things, and I got like 4 boxes here we're just going to rip through. But a couple programming notes. Number one, if you are not following me on Instagram, you definitely should. Right down here, just hit me up on Punch Fishing on Instagram. Give me a like, give me a follow, whatever. Also, going into this year, into 2024, I just wanted to let everybody know the format of my Omnia 15% off codes have changed. Used to be fairly predictable. You could do the OM Punch and then like the month and year. That is now going to be completely randomized. So just so you guys know, coupon code websites, they pick up on these things and then publish the codes out on these couponing sites, and it really screws up the metrics for affiliates when that happens. So the idea with the randomizing of the code is that these coupon websites can't predict the next codes and just automatically update them on their websites, which is what they have been doing. So the point is, if you want my latest, greatest Omnia code, follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting them there. As well, look in the comments of, the description of my latest video. So the last couple of videos I put out, that code is always going to be current down in there. And if you still just want to know the code, feel free to shoot me a DM, leave a message in the comments on any of these videos, and I'll be happy to share the code. But it'll just be noted that the codes are not going to be the same format. They're going to be completely randomized month to month. You're going to have to come find them here, either on the YouTube videos or on my Instagram, or just hit me up wherever you see me on social media. So that being said, we're going to dive right into this thing, and I got a bunch of random stuff. I've been hitting a lot of Omnia's sales that they've been doing lately. If you're on Omnia's mailing list, you already know about this stuff. So first thing I'm going to unbox this big one. I'm using a blue Benchmade bug out. I've had this knife for years. I'm sure you knife nerds out there know exactly what this is, but I love this knife. It's one of my favorites. I haven't bought knives in years because of the fact that I just love the couple knives I have so much that I haven't really felt like I need to go buy more knives. So Benchmade bug out is legit. All right. I don't even really remember what's in these boxes because I've been ordering these sporadically over the last couple weeks. So it's going to be kind of a surprise. And I'll talk through some of the things as I go. So number one, Omnia brought back the beef jerky promo. So if you spend over 50 bucks, you can have a beef jerky package sent into the box with you. You just add it to your cart. And this is awesome because I don't know if you guys noticed, but beef jerky's gotten expensive lately. Like, it's over 10 bucks to get a pack like this at the grocery store or at the gas station nowadays. But anyway, shout out to Omnia for including beef jerky. These are clutch. I stack these up, I throw them in my boat, and I'm out on the water, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have brought something to eat. I got my beef jerky stashed away in one of my boxes, and I usually carry a couple of these for emergencies. Plus, when I have kids on the boat, I bust this out and share it with the kids, and they think it's great. So, shout out to Omnia for the free jerky. Okay, so I'm going to dive in here a little bit. I'm going to see if I can make sense of all the things that are in here. Okay, so first off, we got to kick it off with Megabass. So Omnia has stocked up on all the new Megabass core colors, and the one that I was the most excited about, and I thought I did order 2 of these, is in the Megabass 110 Junior. They came out with these really beautiful perch color. It is called GP Pro Perch. So instead of like a solid matte kind of color perch, this has the ghost pearlescent going on. So it's a kind of a see-through version of the bait. And I really want to throw these in the spring on a spinning rod, like the whip snake or something, or the addermine. And I'm gonna be throwing this bad boy, maybe even anyway, I'm gonna throw these on a spinning rod. I don't know which rod I'm gonna use. I got a lot of rods I can throw this on, but if you notice, this is a kind of more of a see-through version of the 110 Junior Perch. This is gonna be a great bait on the Clearwater lakes up in Wisconsin early in the season. So I grabbed 2 of these. There's a lot of new core colors that dropped across Megabass's line. Omnia's got almost all of them in stock right now, so check that out. Next is this is going to be a boat thing. So a couple boat things that I purchased. I don't know about you guys, but I have Lowrance graphs on my boat, and I throw the covers on the graphs, and I've had it a couple times where I didn't actually push the cover down good enough, and I lose the covers. So there's a company called Boat EFX, Boat Effects, and they make these cover straps. Omnia just got these in stock, and they're carrying these now. So I ordered a bunch of these things to cover all my graphs. Basically, you slap one of these things on. They're just kind of big rubber bands. But you strap these on, you adjust them to your graph cover, and you won't lose your graph cover. I don't know if you guys know, but to replace a graph cover on a Lowrance HDS, that's like 30 to 40 to 50 bucks, depending on where you order them from. And they're always, sometimes they're in stock, sometimes they're not. So I'm kind of tired of losing my boat graph covers all the time when they fly off the road because I'm an idiot and don't attach them securely. So if you boat nerds and you've lost a graph once in a while, go to Omnia, check out these Boat EFX graph covers. I grabbed a bunch. Definitely going to be putting them on my boat this year, and it'll hopefully make it so I don't lose graphs. Let's see, what else we got? I don't know why I threw this in the cart, because you can just make this stuff at home for way cheaper. But I'm a big fan of all of the Boat Bling product line. This is the Boat Bling glass sauce. I use basically all the sauce products from this company, and they're all fantastic. And I know you can make this kind of water solution. You know, it's like vinegar and water, and you can just put this in your own spray bottle. But this does come with a microfiber towel. I don't know if that if that makes you excited or not. But I wanted to grab this just to throw it in the boat, and I've been a fan of all their products, so I haven't tried this one. I'm sure it works great. But anyway, they do have the glass sauce, which, if you don't know, this is to clean off your graphs. So if your graphs get kind of slimy, get some fish slime on them, sit out in the rain and get some mineral deposits on them. This is the kind of stuff you need to clean your graphs and keep them looking nice every day. So, okay, that's some of the boat stuff. Let's dive into the tackle. Okay, so. This is going to come up a couple times in this video. I know I got some other raid stuff hiding in the other boxes, but this is one of the raid baits I really wanted to try, and this is called the Little Sweeper. Omnia is now carrying raid baits. So this is a Japanese tackle brand. These are kind of expensive. They are like 10 bucks. Try my code out on them. You probably get a little bit of a discount. But anyway, this particular bait is a minnow style bait. What intrigued me about this bait is I think this is going to have a good application for river fishing here up in Minnesota in the winter. I'm thinking I'm going to rig this thing up on a split shot rig and kind of mimic what the live bait guys do out on our river systems in the winter. But I'm going to do it with a plastic because I don't want to do live bait. But if you guys don't know, the Little Swimmer, this is just a little 3-inch, very simple plastic, but it's got two little fins going on here, and these were designed for drop shots. This is a drop shot bait. I mean, obviously you could probably put this on a ball head jig as well. You can nose hook this on a drop shot. You could maybe even run the hook through the body on a drop shot, you know, have it kind of coming out through the middle. But I'm gonna basically nose hook this thing, put it on a split shot, and fish out on the river for smallmouth. I'm gonna give this thing a whirl pretty soon here. So anyway, that's why I bought this bait, to try it out on the river, see how it performs, see if I can catch some smallies on it, and then also the rest of them, whatever I don't use, I'm going to drop shot these things in the spring for smallmouth and walleye. I have a feeling that this is going to be a great walleye bait come summer. So I can't wait to drop shot one of these bad boys down into a walleye school and pick a few off. So I grabbed a couple packs. The colors I got is the Sandfish. I thought this just looked the most natural, the most close to perch. We have so much perch in the lakes around up here. I always try to mimic perch colors wherever I can. And then the last thing in this box is something very specific. I saw this on Instagram. I'm like, ooh, I want to try that. So Great Lakes Finesse. Omnia does carry most of the Great Lakes Finesse line right now. And one bait that was interesting with a certain combination head is the Great Lakes Drop Worm. So this is a drop shot bait that Great Lakes makes, but what I saw on Instagram is some of the smallmouth nerds are taking the Great Lakes hooks. So this is the 1/16. It's a very small finesse ball-headed jig, and they're pairing it up with the Great Lakes drop worm. I got to remember the names of these, but they're basically putting the drop worm, rigging it up on these ball heads, and just using it as like a moping bait, like a mid-strolling bait. Basically using it as a forward-facing sonar bait, so it kind of gets down and you can twitch it and make it pop and do all these things. But apparently, just throwing the ball-headed jig with these things, rig them straight, and then you got a bait you can just drop straight down on forward-facing sonar. You can throw it out for roaming and schooling fish, that kind of thing. So I wanted to try that out. So I grabbed a couple different colors. I grabbed a green pumpkin and a smoke clear purple. So I got a smoke, like, you know, smoke bait fish kind of looking thing, and then just a regular green pumpkin. And I grabbed 2 sizes in the heads. I don't really know what size I want to use. I grabbed the lightest one, which is the 1/16. I figured that's going to be good for shallow fishing. And then I grabbed the next size up to 1/8. So I figure between these 2 heads and this thing, this is going to be a smallmouth technique I'm going to experiment with in the summer, and we'll see how that goes. So that's all the stuff in the first box. Bunch of smallmouth stuff, not too much largemouth stuff at the moment. All right, we're going to dive into the next one. It came in a bag. I actually don't even remember what's in this, so we're going to find out in real time. Oh, I think this is going to be a bunch of Strike King stuff. So, if you guys don't know, Omnia had a 25% off Strike King sale going on. I think it's still live right now. If I post this video today on the 23rd, that sale is still going. But if it's not, just use my 15% off code and you can grab any of this stuff. But there's a bunch of Strike King things that I wanted to try out. And of course, I had to throw in the jerky, so I got 2 jerkies going here. Those are amazing. Okay, so a bait that I wanted to try last year and I never got around to it because I just didn't order them and I kind of forgot about it, was the Strike King Hybrid Hunter. So this is a grass fishing crankbait, and I grabbed a few of the hybrid hunters. I grabbed some in the junior, so the smaller hybrid hunter, and I grabbed some in the regular size. So a lot of people message me and are like, yeah, the junior swims better, it's easier to cast, it's better to work than the bigger one. So I grabbed some of each. So I got some of the juniors, I grabbed the big ones here. I'll pop a junior out of the case here just so you guys can check it out. So if you're not aware of the hybrid hunter, this isn't a new design. You know, Strike King wasn't the ones that invented this, but what you got here is a crank that is made to run in shallow grass. So the way the bill goes, I've watched a bunch of videos on this thing. I'm going to test it out. I'm going to throw this on the Javelin and probably the Mad Bull. But anyway, it basically dives, hits a piece of grass, and then you kind of pause it and stop it, and it just kind of floats up. It doesn't. Apparently, this thing does not grab the grass like a normal crankbait or a normal squirrel bill does. It just deflects really well off grass. We have a ton of shallow grass here in Minnesota. It is in every dang lake. So I'm always looking for new ways to kind of cover grass effectively. With, you know, we throw a lot of swim jigs up here. Swim jigs is a big one to get kind of cover ground and get through grass, but I kind of want to do something that's not a swim jig that might get through cover a little better. So we're going to try this out. Yeah, I don't know. I've never tried one of these. I grabbed 2 in the juniors and 2 in the full size. I just kind of got some different colors. This color is probably one of the most popular colors right here. It's always out of stock. This is the Blue Craw. So apparently this Blue Craw color is very, very popular. I also grabbed some of the brighter colors. So this one is the Chartreuse Back Black. So this is just always a go-to for crankbaits. I love Chartreuse. With black back always works up here. This one I thought was kind of cool because it has kind of some splatter going on. Looks more perchy. This is called Bully, so I thought this might be a good perch kind of imitator. And then I also grabbed, in the smaller one, I grabbed the Chartreuse Perch. So I think this one's probably going to be the one that's going to get the most action if I were to guess up here. So anyway, I grabbed a bunch of hybrid hunters. I grabbed 4 of them. To be determined if these things are fun. We'll give it a whirl. So the rest of the stuff in here I think is more Strike King plastics. I grabbed a bunch of plastics. I know I have this reputation of being like a JDM guy because I did a lot of hookup tackle JDM unboxings and stuff like that. But to be honest, I think the #1 plastic brand I use the most is either Strike King or X-Zone. I use a lot of Zoom too. I like Zoom, I love X-Zone, and I love Strike King. I've been using Strike King baits since I was a teenager. You know, they just always work. And this is my goat. I know this is not like a hot take or anything, but the Strike King Rage Bug is, if I were to pick a soft plastic that I've used my whole life that I've caught the most number of fish on, it would absolutely be the Strike King Rage Bug with a bullet. It's my absolute favorite Texas rig bait. I have this rigged up on my Steez AGS medium heavy bottom contact rod all the time. It's my favorite grass edge flipping bait. It's my favorite chuck something into the coontail and see what happens bait. But anyway, I grabbed a bunch of Rage Bugs. I do like the regular size, but also I've been experimenting with the baby Rage Bug as a finesse jig trailer. So the baby Rage Bug, the smaller one, this is the 3-inch. This is actually a really great finesse jig trailer. So if you're looking for something different to throw on the back of like your little finesse football jigs, this is a great option. So I grabbed a bunch of different colors in the Rage Bugs. I'm never going to turn down 25% off to restock on Rage Bugs. Because as you know, if you guys use Rage Bugs, they're sometimes one fish wonder baits. They're very soft. They have a ton of action, but they don't last very long. So it's easy to go through a package of Rage Bugs pretty quickly. So now, the other bait that I restocked on that I really liked last year, that this was a little bit of a sleeper hit for me, and I didn't actually talk about it that much, was the Scorn Bug. So the Scorn Bug was a bait that came out, I think it came out in iCast 2 years ago, and it took a while to kind of hit the market. But this Scorn Bug, man, this is a sneaky Texas rig, just a great Texas rig bait. It's 3.5 inches, but man, this thing gets bit. I was just Texas rigging this on a unpegged light, like a 1/8 ounce bullet weight, unpegged with a 3/0 ringed hook. And this thing got me a ton of bites in just grass. I could fish this thing up shallow. I could flip, grass lines in 10 to 15 feet with this thing. But this little guy gets bit, man. It's a smaller profile. It's got great action when you unpeg it on a weight, so it has a chance to float down and kick its legs and everything. It's kind of like a Rage Bug and a Rage Craw. I'm sorry. It's kind of like a Rage Menace and a Rage Bug. Rage Craw. Okay, let me get this right. It's like a Rage Menace and a Rage Craw had a baby. That's what this bait is like. It's like the best of both worlds. It's the best of a Rage Bug and a best of a Rage Craw kind of smushed into one. But yeah, this thing gets bit. I grabbed more colors. I grabbed more colors in this thing, and yeah, this is gonna be a mainstay, lighter. Lighter as in a slightly smaller hook, slightly lighter weights. Just fishing this with a regular old everyday medium heavy 7 foot to 7'3" rod. You don't need a special rod for this, but this is just a fun grass fishing flipping bait, and that's the Scorn Bug, the regular Scorn Bug. I know that this is a 3.5. I know that Strike King is coming out with different sizes of the Scorn Bug. I think they're gonna have like a bigger one, like a straight up flipping version of this coming out. Maybe they're even gonna have a smaller one. Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of it. I grabbed a bunch of Scorn Bug colors. Yeah, just different Scorn Bugs. That's all that's in there. So stocked up on the Scorn Bugs, the Rage Bugs, some Great Lake Finesse stuff. Let's move on. All right, I got 2 more boxes. Oh, and the Hybrid Hunters. So I know in one of these boxes I have some cranks. Let's see. I think it might be in this one. Let's take a look. I think this might be the box. If not, we're just going to talk about what's in here. Yep. Okay. So I checked out, made an order with Strike King, and then I forgot that there was another crankbait from Strike King that I really wanted to try. So I made another order, and I'm like, oh, I can't forget these while the 25% off sale is going. And that is the new rock crawler version of the Strike King 1.5, and that's with the Gravel Dog. So the Gravel Dog, if you guys don't know, they basically took a Strike King 1.5 body. They added a new lip. I don't know. I'm not a Strike King crankbait expert like Kevin Baxter is, but he said this bait is completely legit. Kevin the bait man. He says he's been testing this bait for the last couple months and says it does really well on rock. So I'm always looking for good cranks to grind rock with, because over in Wisconsin there's so much rock, and especially when you go to northern Minnesota there's so much rock, and just grinding these crankbaits along rock points, rock flats, humps, offshore rock islands that we have a lot around in Minnesota and Wisconsin. This is where these kind of baits really come in handy, because you can cover a lot of ground and you get a lot of reaction bites, and smallmouth hate these things when they're in a crankbait mood. So they came in 2 depths. There's a 8 and a 10, and most of the patterns on this bait are all crawfish patterns at the moment, so they don't have a lot of variety in the colors. So I just grabbed various crayfish patterns. So this one's cool. I'm going to take this one out of the package because it looks really nice. This is called the Table Rock Craw. This one kind of jumped out at the... ooh, this is really nice. This is the first time I've seen this one in person. Ooh, that's the Table Rock Craw. So you got some green. Ooh, you got blue on the bottom going into a green fade, and then you got brown on the top. This is a gorgeous looking crankbait. I'm going to throw this on the I don't know what rod I'm going to throw this on yet. We'll see. Maybe the X-Pride 7.2 medium heavy glass I throw chatterbaits on. That might be good for it. Definitely the Javelin's probably going to be good. Maybe even the Mad Bull for shallower rocks that I'm going to grind a little bit. But anyway, I'm really excited to try out the Gravel Dog, especially grinding rocks for smallies. this year. So I grabbed 4 of them. I grabbed 2 of the 10s and 2 of the 8s. Apparently, though, I was told by Kevin and people who use this bait that the treble hooks do have a tendency to snag onto each other. And so if you do change the size, like if you go to a number 2 on the front and a number 3 on the back, and maybe go with some shorter shank hooks, that won't happen. So apparently the stock hooks do tend to get caught up on each other in a cast or while it's running along the bottom. So just FYI, if you do get snagging hooks and they are catching each other, go with the 2, go with the 3, go with short shank hooks altogether, and you should be good. That's what I was told. So I'm gonna change out the hooks on these things just to test that theory. Anyway, all right, I think we got 1 box left, and then we're good to go. And there's a lot of stuff in this one. So thank you for sticking around this far into the unboxing. I'm going to leave links in the description of the video for all this stuff if you want to go check it out on Omnia. Be sure to fire off my 15% off code to get hooked up on that. Okay, there's something in this box that I really, really want to talk about because I was so excited when Omnia first started stocking these. I think they just went in stock last week, and that is a raid bait that is kind of weird, and that is called the 2-way. Now, I am I'm a big fan of the big 2-way. Now, the 2-way is a really weird bait, and it comes in different sizes. But this is the size that I like the most because I started playing with these last fall, and I haven't talked about it. I didn't make any videos on it. But let me take one of these out of the package. This is a super crazy creature bait, but let me tell you what I like doing with it. These things are so slimy. So you take it out, these things like dripping in oil. So these are so wet and slimy. If you don't close the package on these things and you put them in your boat, it definitely can leak, so be careful about that. But anyway, this is the Raid 2-way. Now, I assume why they call it the 2-way is because there's 2 ways to fish this thing. As you can see, there's a big joint down the middle, and you can absolutely rig this wacky, run your wacky hook right through the middle and then just use it as like a wacky worm like you're using a Senko. So you can fish this like a Senko. However, the fall rate isn't super fast. So if you do want to get it to drop a little bit, sticking a nail weight in one of the butts on this thing is perfect. When I first got this last fall, I rigged a hook down the middle, stuck a nail weight in there, and literally my first cast, I caught like a 3-pound largemouth just on some grass. Like first cast, as soon as I hit the water, dropped down, I gave it a pop, I felt thunk, swimming off, set the hook on a spinning rod, and it got bit. But here's the problem, as you guys you're probably already doing the math in your mind, is that what happens when this thing breaks in half? Because this is not going to be long for the world if you catch a bunch of fish on it. That is true. What you can do, and I'm going to do it, is you tear this thing in half, and then now you have 2 pieces. This is the cool thing about this bait, and what I like better than rigging it wacky, is now that you have this bug, you run a wacky hook down the center of it. So, like a real small wacky hook, like just a typical circle hook that you use maybe on, wacky rigging Senkos. But you run it down the middle, and then you take a little nail weight and you stick it in the back, and then you have an amazing shallow fishing bait. When just using this little half on a simple hook, on a light spinning rod, pitching it around docks, this thing skips. I got tons of bites on this little half of the 2-way with the nail weight in it, with the hook sticking out. It's super weedless because it slowly moves down. It doesn't sink real fast. You can kind of skip it under docks, around pontoons, shallow grass, swim docks, anything shallow. Like if you're looking to just catch a whole bunch of small or a bunch of largemouth and like 5 foot or less of water just beating the bank, going around people's pontoons and stuff, this thing is so much fun. And the fish going glued. They hate this thing. When it hits the water and it does its little shimmy with the legs kicking out and you pop it and twitch it, and it looks literally like a bug that's swimming around. Like you'll catch small largemouth, you'll catch big largemouth. Everything that eats will not be able to resist this stupid thing when it's rigged straight up and down. So anyway, point is, rig it right down the middle. I wish I would have grabbed a hook. Maybe I'm going to have to do another video on this with some on water. But anyway, tear the 2-way in half, use each half, stick a little nail weight in the butt, run a hook down the center, and just start casting it around up shallow, around any piece of cover, anywhere, and you will get bites. This thing just gets bit, and it's so much fun. So anyway, I'm a big fan of the 2-way. I personally like the big 2-way. The small one, the regular two-way is more of a drop shot specific bait. I like the bigger two-way because of the fact you can just tear them in half and go crazy pitching around with spinning rod. It's super fun. And now my hands are completely caked in slime. So one downside of these things is, like with most Japanese baits, they're drenched in stuff. So anyway, I grabbed, because I think these things are going to sell out quick, and these are not, they don't restock these that much or that fast. Most companies, when they get the raid stuff and it sells out, it's gone out of stock for a while. So I grabbed a bunch of packs of the two-way. So I got another one. Oh, I did grab the Magnum. So let me just talk about that real quick. I have never touched the Magnum two-way. This is the biggest of the two-ways. It's bigger than the big. That's why it's called the Magnum. I'm going to test this one and do the same stuff with it and see how well it does versus the big two-way. Does the Magnum make a difference? Do you got to use a little bigger hook? Does it fall a little faster? I'm probably going to do a full two-way video later this summer, but I want to play with the big one. But I do really like the big. I'm going to play with the Magnums later this year. Okay. Yes, I have to admit, I am intrigued and thinking about hover strolling because I know this is the biggest thing everyone's talking about. The hover strolling thing is definitely taken off. So I grabbed one of the the most go-to combos for hover strolling, and that is a DEPS 4-inch Sakamata shed. So I got the 4-inch Sakamata. Now, a lot of people use the 3-inch. You use the 4-inch. There's a lot of great options with the Sakamata shed, but I grabbed the 4, and I've been told that it pairs up pretty well with the 1/8 ounce range roller head. So the range roller head is a specific hover strolling, excuse me. It's a specific hover strolling head that owner created. Everyone's using these things. They come in lots of different sizes. I actually I have another order coming that's got some of the smaller range rollers with some 3-inch baits, but I've been told that the 1/8 with the 3/0 is a great pairing with the 4-inch DEPS Sakamata shad. I'm gonna try this hover strolling stuff out. I got an upgrade on my boat. I went to Active Target 2 with a 12-inch HDS Pro this year, so I got like a full big boy forward-facing sonar setup on the front of my boat this year, and I'm definitely gonna give the old hover stroll a whirl and see if I can catch some roaming, schooled up, suspended smallmouth this year. We'll see if I can do it. I don't know if I can. I don't have a lot of confidence yet, but we're going to play with it. And the very last thing I grabbed, and this is what I'm going to close out the video on, is the Core Tackle Ozark rig. Now, these are new. They just started rolling out to tackle shops. It's basically a Texas rig without having to use a bullet weight. So you don't got to use a weight. The weight is built into the shank of the hook. These are made for running creature baits. So this was designed by Matt Steffen and what's the other guy's name from the Fish the Moment. But they started this company called Core Tackle. This is a very interesting way of rigging a Texas rig. Basically, there's no more sliding. You don't have to peg away. It's just built into the hook. This is for throwing beavers. I could throw those rage bugs on this thing. I'm really excited to try this out and see if it's really that much of an improvement over simply just rigging a Texas rig traditionally with a EWG hook and a sinker. So the jury is definitely out on the Core Tackle the Core Tackle Ozark rig. I grabbed 2 different weights in this. I grabbed the 1/8 and the 3/16. They both come in a 4/0. So is this a revolutionary new thing for Texas rigging, or is it just a gimmick? I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm going to give it a whirl. I trust that Matt Steffen wouldn't put his name on a crappy product, but we're going to find out. So anyway, a lot of stuff to try out this coming year. A lot of things I'm excited about. Omnia has been stocking up on a lot of cool stuff lately. So all the baits and everything I've talked about here, I'm going to leave in the description. You can find the links for everything. Thank you for watching this video. Leave some comments what you guys think of these baits. If you got any tips, tricks, and things that I need to do with some of this stuff, please let me know down in the comments. And as always, follow me on Instagram. I post most of my content, especially when I'm out on the water during the summer, on my IG. So appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys on the next one.